Good evening. On the face of it, it's just another state election in India. But the significance of Gujarat in Indian politics today cannot be overstated. Not only is it the Prime Minister's home state, it's a state where his party, the BJP, has been in power for more than 2 decades. It's also where the face of the opposition, the newly crowned president of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, is fighting a battle for political survival and apparently has seen a resurgence, at least on social media. Today, voting in the second and final phase was conducted. And tonight, we're looking at what exit polls say. Who will win Gujarat and by what margins? I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and I'm welcoming you to this very special broadcast on WION. Let's take a look at the big takeaways from the exit poll projection beamed by various television stations across this country this evening. Despite 22 years in anti-incumbency, the BJP is set to retain power in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state of Gujarat, and that is the biggest headline coming out this evening. The BJP set to sweep Gujarat yet again, to win Gujarat at least. We look at the margins ahead. It is expected to get anywhere up to 110 seats in the 182-member assembly. So that's a comfortable majority for the ruling party. The Congress is projected to fail yet again. It's expected to be routed in the hill state of Himachal Pradesh as well. And so it's going to be a double whammy for the Congress party in this election. The poll of polls gives the BJP 110 seats and the Congress 72 seats in Gujarat. The C voter exit poll predicts 108 seats for the BJP, 74 for the Congress party. This is for Gujarat. The Times Now VMR poll gives 109 to the BJP, 70 to the Congress party. The India Today Axis poll has given 99, anywhere between 99 to 113 seats to the BJP, anywhere between 68 and 82 seats to the Congress party. So you see the Congress is well below the halfway mark that is needed. The BJP in every poll is looking at a comfortable majority. The CSD is also giving victory to the BJP. It says the BJP will win 93 out of 142 seats for which it was projecting the results till we last checked. The Congress is likely to get 48 of these seats. Let's turn to the other state, the smaller state, but significant nonetheless, Himachal Pradesh. The poll of polls gives the BJP 48 seats and the Congress 19 seats. The India Today Axis poll says the BJP will win 47 of the 55 seats and 55 of the 68 seats. The ruling Congress party is expected to slump to anywhere between 13 to 20 seats. And joining me this evening is a very special panel, starting with WION's political editor, Kartikeya Sharma. We also have with us Jasper Reed, who is an economist and a brand expert, with me in the studio. Sharad Gupta, senior journalist from the Noida studio. Arun Anand, also a veteran journalist, with me in the studio. And we'll be joined by more through the course of this broadcast. Kartikeya, if I could begin with you. This is an election, as I said, and especially in Gujarat, the significance of which cannot be overstated. Why is Gujarat so important, not just for the Prime Minister, but also for the opposition?
See, it's important for the Prime Minister for a simple reason, because it's about his home state. It's about the fact that the Prime Minister's, it's his asmita, his pride, Prime Minister's, I would say, home state being a matter of his honor, and for Rahul Gandhi it has become an issue of political legitimacy. That is why for Rahul it's like a battle for his political survivor, sans Sonia Gandhi, because he's going to take over the party day after tomorrow. And for Prime Minister, it's all about the state, because if he loses the Gujarat, then all the smaller regional parties will start gravitating towards Rahul. Rahul will acquire a political rebirth, and that's the whole issue, Palki.
Right, Sharad Gupta, I'm looking at the exit polls, and if you look at the average, the BJP is clearly winning Gujarat yet again, despite all the headlines, all the rumours, all the speculation that the BJP might be losing because of GST, demonetization, the quota factor, and a lot of other things. The resurgence of Rahul Gandhi, some said.
In fact, the BJP has been in power in Gujarat for more than 20 years now, and they are so entrenched in Gujarat. And since Prime Minister Modi has been leading the party for most of these 22 years, so the Gujaratis identify with Prime Minister Modi. And this time, it's not only Modi, but also the BJP's national president, Amit Shah, who is also from Gujarat, and both were leading the charge. So it's very difficult to dislodge the BJP from Gujarat because of these two factors that most of the Gujaratis identify with BJP and Modi and Amit Shah. So despite the fact that there has been a urban and rural divide with a lot of rural populace going for the Congress, but in urban areas, BJP has been holding a clear sway over the electorate.
Right. Jasper Reed, for our viewers watching this broadcast outside India, I'd like you to put this in perspective. Why is this election so important and what would a BJP win mean?
Well, it's incredibly important, as Kartikeya says, because it's effectively a vote on the ongoing credibility of Prime Minister Modi. As Kartikeya says, this is a home game. This is Tendulkar playing in Mumbai, and the BJP fans are going to be looking for a century, in this case a century of seats.
Right.
And that's important, as Kartikeya says, for a matter of pride. For Rahul, of course, and Brand Rahul, this is the first innings.
I'm told that there's a problem with your mic, and we'll fix the audio in just a bit. I'm told Madhu Gaud Yakshi, former MP and senior leader of the Congress party, is joining us from Hyderabad. Madhu Gaud Yakshi, despite all the projections, despite the Congress hoping to do better, some saying even winning, some exit polls did say that, it seems that the poll of polls shows that the Congress party will lose Gujarat yet again.
We generally not to participate in a debate, but I would like to, having said that, in the last Punjab elections, same exit polls have predicted Congress and AAP is neck to neck, and you've seen what result happened. Last Tamil Nadu elections, DMK Congress is winning, and you've seen Jayalalitha retain the power. So, in so many, even Bihar in that case, so all the exit polls have gone wrong. So not necessarily these exit polls are accurate. All we request is to wait for 18, the final count. You will see that in past, in so many times, this is proven wrong.
Numbers the Congress is going to win in Gujarat.
We are very confident the way we ran the campaign and the way you see the Prime Minister and the BJP party gone down to so low, and even their frustration shows on their face. Unlike in UP, Prime Minister has forgotten about the Vikas and the development. He's talking about even about the Pakistan issue, to communalization, to brought down the level of respect for the constitutional post of like former Prime Minister posts. And the way we have seen there, the way we are getting a response, and some of the exit polls also shows that Congress is winning. So today, most of these exit polls as a policy, as I said it, by and large, we don't completely believe it. These are not accurate, and wait for the.
If the Congress loses, will Rahul Gandhi take the blame for it for once?
Rahul Gandhi, a leader who doesn't pretend, who doesn't lie, who allows his gutsy and taking responsibility, be it in UP or elsewhere. And unfortunately, the media, wherever when Punjab win, in Gujarat, even Goa and Manipur, we came number 1, but you don't give credit. Even in 2009, it's Rahul Gandhi who addressed more meetings than Manmohan Singh ji and Sonia ji.
Madhu, if you must have looked at the you must have looked at the data, you must have gone through the exit polls. One thing is clear, that the Congress has gained the ground. BJP has lost some, but the Congress hasn't gained so much of ground to defeat BJP. The surge is there, but not enough in terms of the data which is coming out.
Kartikeya, that's where I disagree, with due respect to you as a political science student. Whenever incumbent government is anti-incumbency sweeping in, it's always fall is steep, there's no middle path. Be it in 2004, the India Shining, nobody predicted that UP will win. You've seen the result what happened in 2004. Even in 2009, many channels and opinion polls predicted that NDA going to win, and UPA won with not more than the predicted. So my take here, be it in Andhra Pradesh in 2004, Chandrababu Naidu is so confident, he went ahead 6 months before the polls after the bomb blast, and you've seen what results happen. So it's a, whenever, then even the BJP President Amit Shah agrees that there is an anti-incumbency. When there's an anti-incumbency and with the popularity is coming down, that's always a steep.
No, I think that's a fair point. Sharad, do you agree with that? Because you had been talking about this for quite some time.
I do agree with this, but there is another aspect to it. I want to ask Mr. Gowda, why has suddenly Rahul become a devout Hindu?
Please go ahead, ask him that.
Why has he been hopping from one temple to another?
Let me tell you first, isn't visiting temple is a bad or banned? As a citizen, why didn't you ask this question to Narendra Modi ji when he went to Nepal to hopping up to all the temples? You didn't raise this question when Rahul ji went to Kedarnath all the way trekking. And let me tell you, the constitutional guarantee to every citizen of this country is a freedom of religion, it's an individual choice. Mr. Gandhi visiting temples, and he made it very clear that he is Shiv Bhakt, and you have to respect that. And questioning that his motive is absolutely absurd, and I don't take it.
All right, let me get in everyone here. Arun Anand hasn't had the chance to speak, so let me put this question to him. How do you see these numbers? The BJP, the projections say at least, is going to win Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh as was expected.
See, as far as Himachal Pradesh is concerned, I think the writing on the wall was pretty clear, and it's the poor governance, and Himachal has a tradition of also having an alternate government every 5 years, and BJP has contested the election there pretty well. Veerbhadra Singh is a spent force, and when we come to Gujarat, I think it would be a victory of this victory has, if they win, the win would be result of a number of factors. One, a factor which has largely been ignored is the BJP's organizational capability in Gujarat, because just before after the first phase of polling, there was a general sense that BJP is not doing that well, but they have been able to pull it off before the second phase, as the numbers are showing. It's largely because they have been able to mobilize their voters, especially in the urban areas. If you will go into the data which is coming out today, in urban areas the number of the votes, the polling has been much better. Also, no, it's also a combination of local factors, but also I think I've been saying this, that right from 2013 onwards, a wave of Hindu consolidation has been going on. And
can I interrupt you for a minute? You know, this election, last time, Palki, when we were talking, we said, soft Hindutva of the Congress party, but the BJP had gone for hard Hindutva. So the question is, that has the hard Hindutva finally won in Gujarat? Because the soft Hindutva of Congress was the whole issue of Janu, visiting temple, going and having khakras, sitting, a local dress, local food, a local hawa pani. But then you had the hard Hindutva, Bharatiya Janata Party, nationalism, ethnicity, identity, asmita, pride, Pakistani, food party and all that. Has that form of politics got better of the soft Hindutva in Gujarat?
See, when it comes to, I think Congress walked into a trap laid by the BJP when Rahul Gandhi started visiting the temples. When it will come to Hindutva, Congress can never be a match to BJP, because BJP has been wearing that up on its sleeve ever since the party has been born. And what Congress is doing, or what Rahul Gandhi is doing, is seen more as a symbolism. And as Mr. Gowda had said that there's an absurd question, it's ironical, the man, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who had said that people who go to the temple, I know that they are the ones who are eve teasers. And the same person is now visiting temples. So, you can't change your spots overnight.
You can try to, but no one's going to buy it. Madhu Gauri, Akshay, I want you to respond to this before I take this discussion forward.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not seeing it, but whoever gentleman said it, the people, even the priests, some of the priests caught in various kind of crimes. And here questioning Rahulji's intention of visiting temple, it is absolutely, again I'll say, not only absurd, it's ridiculous. It is individual right. He has every choice as a citizen, and he has a right to visit a temple. As every Indian, we go to temple, we go to church, we go to masjids, we pray when something important. This election is very important for us and for the country and for the people of Gujarat. And he went to the temples and he all said it very clearly. Unlike the Prime Minister who pretends and he brazenly speaks lies. All his promises fallen flat, be it in providing jobs to bringing back black money and demonetization, in stopping the corruption. The BJP emerged as the most richest party in the country.
Okay, I think the campaign is
over.
Mr.
Gandhi said it very clearly. Mr. Gandhi said it very clearly why he went to temple and what he prayed in the temple. Unlike Mr. Modi,
let's see how it's
for them to win election at any cost, be it in killing somebody, be it in a compromising national security, be it a compromise of nationalism, and spread communalism, and they can go down to any level to win the election.
But you know,
for us, it's not. Congress policy is not that.
Bottom line here is that ultimately, Madhu, it will be the winner takes it all. Ultimately, who wins the election, gets the mandate from people. And the bottom line is the Gujarat is, if it's very important for Bharatiya Janata Party, it's also important for your party, because it is, by end of the day, Palki, Mr. Gandhi, who had been campaigning for past 3.5 months on the issue of GST,
Absolutely.
on the issue of demonetization, on the issue of economic policy. In fact, the issues of farmers' debt was also raised. So his campaign was on a different curve. If he doesn't get the numbers, then the Congress party will really need to go back to the drawing room.
The Congress president,
Absolutely.
So it will be a double whammy in that sense. But since you brought up the issue of how important this election is, let's dwell on it for a bit. The election in Gujarat is a prestige battle, as we've been saying, for the Indian Prime Minister. The state of Gujarat is home turf for Prime Minister Modi. A BJP government has ruled in the state for the last 22 years. And the Prime Minister himself, who built his political capital in Gujarat, has served as the Chief Minister of the state for 3 terms. This is the first election after Modi took the Prime Minister's office in New Delhi, and the election will be a verdict on the Gujarat model of development after the departure of Prime Minister Modi from the state. It will also be a verdict on the new goods and services tax and demonetization. And that is something, Karthikeya, that you also noticed when you visited Surat. GST and demonetization have had an impact, and Surat was one belt, one area which was seen as a BJP stronghold. So if Surat doesn't go with the BJP, they're in trouble.
Surat has got 14 assembly segments. Surat is a very urbanized place. There are parts of Surat which are as beautiful as Mumbai. There's no doubt about it. It has a city culture. You can go out and eat out at 12 o'clock at night, 1 p.m. and you'll feel perfectly safe. So, that way Surat is very cosmopolitan. It comes from a time when, in India, Surat and plague, 2 words came together, and from there on, Surat has progressed. Issue is, there's a patidar surge. The area around Surat, Palki, there are a lot of patidars. But the question would be, will there be a counter polarization when it comes to patidar? And I think that was the issue I faced when I went to Surat. And a lot of people were very angry with Narendra Modi. But a lot of people didn't consider Congress to be the real alternative there. Now, these are the questions with which I grappled. Then for Surat to vote for the Congress will be really crossing a Rubicon, in the sense that city, that geographical entity had been voting for Bharatiya Janata Party for 25 years. If that bastion falls, that will be really significant.
Yes, and that has been a characteristic of Indian politics, the Tina factor, as some call it. You may not like the incumbent, but you really have no alternative, or you do not like the alternative that you have. Puneet Ahluwalia, Republican leader and political and business consultant, joining us from Washington, D.C. Also, Dr. Bharat Barai, chairman of the Indian American Cultural Center in Chicago. Puneet, how do you read these numbers that are coming in? The BJP set to win the state of Gujarat, the Prime Minister's home state. What does it mean for a global Indian like you?
Democracy in action, and I'm very excited about the fact that this will be a good election where both leaders will be able to show, which is Prime Minister Modi, what they have done, what he has achieved in the last years of his leadership, and especially on his home turf. I think the Amit Shah and Modi combination is phenomenal, the way they have kind of built the party. But the other interesting thing which I've seen is I look at Rahul Gandhi's emergence as a national leader. I have to commend him for really coming up and giving the Modi-Shah team a big challenge. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it'll ultimately fall at 109, 112, whereas Congress coming close to 70 plus, and that's very good. I think the way I see is that the blue state and the red state in the U.S., we have it, is just that you slowly encroach on their territory and start to make it purple. And that's what Congress is looking to do, is slowly go into Prime Minister Modi's home base and start to peel off, and then slowly they kind of expand from there. But it all depends how the Gujarat the people of Gujarat feel in terms of who they should come out to vote, and the get out to vote effort, which I think BJP has far more organized, would come into play very well. I think the booth management is another key factor which Amit Shah has focused on. And again, telling people to bring 2 people out with him to vote will make the difference. In the end, it's organizational skills and get out to vote. And in the end, when the voter is in the last second making that choice, who does he feel confident is going to lead the country? And the corruption-free brand of Prime Minister Modi, I think will play an important role, and also the reforms he's put in.
Right. Dr. Bharat Barai, how do you see this? Is the BJP under Narendra Modi an unbeatable election machine?
I agree with that. Actually, I was in Gujarat 2 weeks ago, and we saw that BJP will get between 105 to 110 seats. Narendra Modi is very popular. What he has done for Gujarat in last 22 years really is a hallmark of progress. I was surprised that BJP did not more accurately try to pronounce the successes and tasks that happened in Gujarat. They had a very strong case to make. And Congress is perceived as a party of corruption and appeasement.
Right.
Mr. Bharat, I have a question to you. Is this sort of a binary? Do you think that it still persists abroad in the sense that the sort of debacle which the Congress party had in 2014 and the perception which came along with, do you think that persists with the expat community abroad in the United States of America? Didn't Rahul Gandhi's tour to the United States of America, which spanned for 17 days, made that difference?
Well, I can tell you that if the voting was to be done in USA, probably BJP will get more than 80% votes. And the perception that I gave you is very much in price.
So Palki is saying basically, the last time when we went to, I went to San Francisco, I realized that BJP has done what at a particular time used to be the asset of the Congress party. That it's a very, I would say, distant example, but Mahatma Gandhi in 1920s and 30s sent Jawaharlal Nehru to canvass for the independence abroad. That's how the different organizations got connected with the Congress party. But BJP post 1970s has been able to create a lot of affiliations abroad, some in the name of the religion, some in the name of a party, but they strongly canvass for Bharatiya Janata Party, and they actually behave like cheer group whenever the Prime Minister...
The point that you were making, organizational strength of the BJP versus the Congress party, which has sort of whittled away its position of strength, while the BJP is built on it. This is also, as we've been saying, the first election for Rahul Gandhi after taking charge as the president of the Congress party. He took charge only towards the end of the election campaign. He was indeed at the center stage of the campaign, and this will be a verdict on the new avatar of the Congress president. It's the first test of his renewed political messaging. Rahul Gandhi's soft Hindutva approach will also be put to the test in this election, and finally it will determine the fate and the future of the Congress party, possibly even Rahul Gandhi and the opposition at large. Jasper, you were making a point about what this election and win or loss would mean for Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi.
Well, let's start with Rahul at the moment. He was only just appointed head of the party, right? And the timing's interesting because in the unlikely event he wins this election, which frankly I think is rather unlikely, of course he'll be a hero. But he's only recently appointed. It's really his first official test match. So I think when it comes down to it, albeit, as Kartike says, elections are binary, we'll have to get into the maths. And there'll be a number, let's liken it to a test match, right? Oh, and it's his first test. There's a number over which he'll be seen to have had a respectable innings. I don't know what that is, 60, 70. If we take Narendra Modi, it's a home game. It's Tendulkar playing Bombay. His fans expect him to knock a ton, right? And in election numbers, that's over 100. So I think in the final analysis, unless we have some extraordinary result, and God knows we've seen a few of those in the last year, it'll come down to the mathematics of how many votes / runs they got and what people then think about their future batting prospects.
You know why this may not be a fair parallel? Because Rahul Gandhi has been captaining his team without being appointed captain for a while now. We've known that for a fact. And would you say, Arun, that the timing of his crowning was with the calculation that the Congress is possibly going to win this election, and so this will be a crowning moment in more ways than one for Rahul Gandhi, who's also been the captain of a ship, so to speak, in Gujarat?
So, Palki, before I answer this, I had read a very interesting term. I've quoted it several times. One of the political columnists had written it in an international publication in 2013. That is, and he had termed Rahul Gandhi as the former future Prime Minister of India. So, he is carrying that baggage until and unless he is able to shed that image of being a former, emphasis is mine, the former future Prime Minister of India. He is still seen as, to a large extent, one, a reluctant leader. Second, he is still trying to find his feet, and as you said that he was a non-playing captain, a de facto captain. We have just spoken to, I was watching Mr. Madhu Koda. Congress is still holding it back and not coming all out even to support Rahul Gandhi, that okay, whether it's a victory or a defeat, it's ultimately the credit has to go to Rahul Gandhi. Unlike that, if you'll see, the BJP has made it very open and clear that okay, it is Narendra Modi's election. Though they haven't said it that if we lose this thing, but there is a no holds barred, and they have a crystal clear. So this messaging which goes to the people.
Who did the BJP blame for the Bihar defeat?
The BJP, I think largely it was, officially they did not say so, but it was Narendra Modi and Amit Shah who was, see, any victory or defeat, let me be very frank about it, any victory or defeat, Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are the ones basically who have to be credited or who have to be discredited with it. I don't think politically there is any question about it. So, as Jasper was saying, if Rahul Gandhi has to play and knock a ton or win a match, he has to play from the front. You can't be a middle order batsman, and you can't keep on changing your order.
But I think he played from the front. But for me, the bigger question is that did the urban-rural divide, and since Gujarat is such an urbanized society, played in for Bharatiya Janata Party, because they've got more urban seats than rural seats, and they're concentrated. Baroda is a concentrated urban seat. You have Surat as a concentrated pack of seats. You have Ahmedabad. So, sir, do you think that that's the rural surge could not override that urban, I would say, love towards their own Gujarati Narendra Modi?
If we analyze last 2-3 elections, we find that BJP has been winning with a far larger margin in urban areas than in rural areas. The margin of victory is around, say, 4,500 on an average in rural areas, whereas in urban areas, the margin of victory is to the tune of 25,000-30,000. So, that makes it very clear that BJP is predominantly an urban party, whereas Congress has been winning mostly from rural seats. In all, they won hardly 8 or 9 seats out of 61 they won last time from urban areas. So that makes it very clear that whatever votes, whatever seats Congress has been getting, they are getting from the rural areas.
But isn't it a cause of worry that if you see the transformation of a society, Congress used to be a party where it had a lot of votes in the rural areas, but as India industrializes and develops, you have agricultural areas getting depopulated, concentrated population in urban areas, which means that the more, when you redivide the constituency, the urban constituencies will increase, the rural constituency will become bigger and decrease in number, and the party which was tagged as the only party of cities ultimately benefit in long run, because in industrialized societies or post-industrial societies, the cities have far greater share of economic and political resources than the rural areas.
But still, if we are talking about Gujarat, so most of the Gujarat, at least 70% seats are in rural Gujarat, and only 30% seats are in urban areas. So that makes it clear that most of the seats are in rural areas. In last election, we were talking about last elections, 2012. out of 70% rural seats, both BJP and Congress shared almost even spoils. So, but since BJP got a major share of urban seats, they crossed the majority. So that's one. Secondly, if we are talking about Patidars, whether in Surat, whether in Mehsana, whether in Saurashtra, everywhere, and we have seen Patidar leader Hardik Patel drawing huge crowds. But still,
we will come to. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm sure as political observers, you want to go into the minutiae of it. But we are being watched by people outside this country as well, and we'd like to focus on the big picture. So we were playing these instances of the banter and the barbs that were exchanged, and this was an election that also saw a lot of negative campaigning, some would say, and we say it in every election, interestingly, Jasper, that it goes to a new low, it hits a new low, and then we keep repeating that because the politicians never fail to surprise us.
But the public lap it up as well, Palki. So they're only doing what the buyers are looking to buy, frankly. So as much as we may be appalled personally or collectively by some of the demeaning comments being made, frankly, it's good media.
It's good media. Arun, the fact that this Gujarat election discourse, the discourse for a state election, was dominated by everything from Doklam to Pakistani interference to surgical strikes to GST. But what was the larger messaging?
No, Palki, I'll tell you. It's a very interesting thing. I was tracking the local Gujarati media for quite some time. For the national press, who was landing like parachute troopers, to cover elections. So for them, the national issues were front page stories. So they were largely reporting on the national issues. But if you look at the Gujarati media, the local Gujarati media, it was largely like a typical Vidhan Sabha election, a typical assembly election, in which 80% of the things which matter were the local issues. So whether it was the distress of the farmers,
right,
or whether it is, as Karthikeya said, the priorities of the urban voters. So it was a combination of, I would say, 80% local issues and 20%, I would say, the national issues. And why the BJP has an edge, as it seems from the numbers, is because BJP has built up quite a strong local leadership right up to the block or district level. I think Congress also suffered. If Congress would suffer, one of the reasons would be that they didn't have a strong local leadership there.
Okay.
I don't think that.
Let's get in Babul Supriyo. He's joining us, Minister of State for Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises from New Delhi. Mr. Supriyo, first of all, congratulations. If the exit polls are to be believed, your party is winning both Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. How do you see the numbers?
Well, you see, I am hearing the news channels, I am seeing experts put in their opinions, but if we talk about today, there is no denying the fact that there is a clear indication that the way Rahul Gandhi ji had started his party presidential campaign with a big lie. If Hardik Patel was a big factor, then what he told Hardik Patel, what he told Gujarat in that perspective is definitely something very important, is something which is very important. And what is that? That it's unconstitutional, that's a lie. You cannot give them as it stands now, as it stands today, you cannot give reservations to the Patidars. And that, I think, has not gone down well with the youth that they were saying are connecting to Rahul Gandhi. I don't think this is the kind of leadership that India wants to see. And I think that the last day, they are saying that Gujarat, BJP has power, BJP has money, he's the Prime Minister, therefore he flew that sky plane. But let me tell you, that's what is being done in Gujarat. That's not a show off. It's not a helicopter which is landing on a farm on a temporary helipad. It's something that's a reality. So I think that's the development plane that has actually drowned these factional politics of Hardiks and Alpeshes and Jignesh's. And I think that is a huge parameter which shows the exit which are being.
We'll see where it lands for sure on the 18th.
And I'm very happy it's showing that way.
Babul,
yes.
Karthikeya,
sure.
Karthikeya, my question to you is, in retrospect, if you just see the exit polls, What really worked? Because Bharatiya Janata Party was not campaigning on local issues. You took up the issue of Pakistan, you took up the issue of Asmita, pride. What really worked for you if we just go by what exit polls are showing?
I definitely think that the fact that our Honourable Prime Minister said it very clearly, that no matter what the opposition says, he is not going to diverge away from the development agenda. And when it comes to the local issues, well, they are being addressed. There is he spoke about the local issues, but he did not resort to any lie. He did not tell the Patidas that, I'm going to give. See, that needs a constitutional amendment, and that, if necessary, there's only one person who can say that. That's the party who's in power in the centre, who's running the parliament. They are the ones who can make this promise. But he did not resort to that. And I think that is the biggest demarcation between Rahul Gandhi's, leadership and what Narendra Modi ji has proved. So many years in Gujarat. I don't think that, yes, there is a 22-year anti-incumbency and all of that, but that is not enough to drown the development agenda that Modi ji has always put forth.
It's interesting that he said development agenda.
Let's accept that. And if exit polls are to be believed,
yeah, you've said development agenda.
I mean, you have to count to see
when there is
so much of confusion happening.
I have to ask you, Babul, that if this was about development, then where does this leave? Where do these numbers leave?
I think Nirmala Sitharaman has joined us. Babul, I would really appreciate that you stay with us. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is there with us, and she will be taking questions on the issue of Gujarat, and she will be taking questions, Palki, on what the exit polls are saying. So we are being informed that Nirmala Sitharaman, India's Defence Minister, is with us. And Nirmala ji, can you hear me? Nirmala ji, can you hear me?
Right, she's not with us right now. So let me continue with my question to Babul Supriyo. Babul, you were talking about development. Where does this leave the charge of the Prime Minister that Pakistan was trying to fix this election for the Congress Party, and the reports that the strong statements from the BJP camp perhaps betrayed their nervousness in the run-up to this election?
Well, you see, when someone like our Honourable Prime Minister is desperately trying to take the country forward and is displaying with every move that it is not, it's not politics that is. It is not politics that is in his mind while he's trying to push the GST, when he's trying to bring in demonetization. He's not playing the number game. It is India first which he has in mind. At that point of time, I think that this kind of rhetoric that was being thrown, the noise that was being thrown by Congress, what credibility, what has it done in the last few years? Yes, they have a great history, but what they're saying, what they're doing, it just clearly depicts that they have no future. When it comes to the last mile connectivity, they are not even connected to the soil of Gujarat, to the people who are on ground zero, on ground level, and they're talking about changing Gujarat, when it is BJP who has done. The Gujarat model does exist, and that is something that is there for everyone to see. And the exit polls, all of them cannot be wrong. So let people say what they want to say today. Yes, we'll have to wait for the 18th, but it's a clear mandate of a development agenda over this caste politics that Rahul Gandhi tried to ride upon. That's a clear mandate that we have got from the people.
Babul Supriyo, bear with us
as it stands today.
Yes, please do stay with us. Nirmala Sitharaman, Defence Minister of India, is with us live now. Good evening, Ms. Sitharaman. And the exit polls showing a BJP win both in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Your first reaction to the numbers?
Well, very much the way we wanted it to be. And I would still say it's an exit poll. We'll wait for the final results. We were sure, and we are sure, that the people of Gujarat prefer development over all kinds of caste-based, community-based, and division of society in the name of appeasing people. Gujarat has seen good development over nearly 2 decades. And people are not in a mood to get carried away by the narrative which Congress has built around its campaign, having outsourced its leadership to people who have just come with the name of caste reservation or caste-based politics. So no wonder the people have seen through the Congress's game, and that is where I think the exit polls are very much in line with what we've expected, that Gujarat will not prefer divisionary politics.
Nirmala ji, Kartikeya here. What, in your opinion, has led to the results which exit polls are showing in Gujarat? Because if you look at the campaign, the Bharatiya Janata Party's campaign was far more focused on central issues. Congress campaign was far more focused on GST, economic and other issues. In retrospect, what has worked for your party?
Which are also central.
Well, you can say that GST is also central, but what has worked for BJP?
I think people have seen a trustworthy government, a government which walks the talk, essentially a government which has all these 20 to 25 years shown that it keeps up its promises. Had it only had a favorable central government during the earlier periods when the present Prime Minister was the Chief Minister, a lot more rapid progress could have happened. But even without worrying about it, we've overcome a lot of difficulties. And even in the context of, as you raised, the GST, people have realized that in principle they're all with the tax GST. But in the implementation, if there has been any difficulty, or even in the decision of the fitment, the tax rate fitments, if there have been any questions, here was a government which was willing to listen to them, come back to them, try to tweak the GST in such a way that the grievances are redressed and so on. So the people of Gujarat have seen that this was a government which was responsive and therefore was reacting to problems which were being posed by the voters, the citizens.
Well, exit polls...
Congress has misread that as anger against the government.
Right.
Which is not right.
Exit polls, ma'am, have been wrong before. What was your calculation? What numbers did you think that your party will get in this election?
Well, I will definitely... See, it's one thing for us to target and work towards a certain number. But for me to speculate on what I will arrive at will be too difficult and it will not be fair. We will work towards the number we've set for ourselves, and which is what we've done organizationally. The leadership was all there, full force, working. Organization, every karyakarta at the booth level, the workers were all at it for nearly a couple of months. And therefore the organizational strength, together with the local leadership, and of course the Prime Minister and the party president, national president, both hailing from Gujarat, gave their maximum time there.
Nirmala, this is a question I really wanted to ask. Is it also because when the UP election took place, Nirmala ji, demonetization was an issue on which the Congress had launched the campaign? People voted for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He got more than 300 seats. Again, GST was a campaign point which was started from Surat. Do you think it's also reflecting a change in Indian public's mood whereby they stand with tough economic decisions taken by centre? Is it a reflection of that?
Absolutely. People are able to see that here is a government, and particularly a Prime Minister, who very clearly states his intention and publicly says that it is for the benefit of the people and carries it through. And even if there are odds or difficulties that people face, they are definitely being addressed, and therefore people see there is a point in trusting the Prime Minister who delivers on his promise. On the contrary, the fact is that Congress is today completely disconnected from the ground. It misread the situation, it continues to misread the situation. The alliance it formed in UP, much against the people's will, threw them out. Now, the kind of outsourcing that they've done to the caste-based leaders, people have rejected it. They're continuously misreading ground-level realities. As a result, Congress is in no position to feel the pulse. On the contrary, in our side, because people trust the sincerity with which Prime Minister is implementing his policies, people are, in spite of some challenges that they have to face, are seeing a responsive government, and therefore the difference.
Much was made of Rahul Gandhi's so-called resurgence, at least on social media. Why do you think it did not translate to the people, and what does it mean for the man who's just been crowned the Congress president to see a defeat, if there is indeed a defeat on Monday?
Well, I suppose defeats and victories are all, some things which every political party sees. He's starting with it all right, but his presidency also is something which was in the making for more than 4 or 5 years. So today it's actually happened, but I suppose every year they were postponing it, which is very much their prerogative, and I have no business to question that. But his becoming a president and therefore linking it up is only coincidental. The party as a whole has lost connect with the people of India. State after state, they're getting rejected because they are still in their, high horse, thinking that Indians will never reject Congress. No, I'm sorry, today the leadership is without an idea, doesn't have commitment to deliver, and above all, is too much only on rhetoric. Too much again using their old astras, if you can say so. Old weapons of divide the society, put one caste against the other, put religion, bring in appeasement. No, India is fed up. They do not want any of this.
Nirmala, can this election be treated as sort of a referendum when it comes to national issues? Because a lot of heated debates took place in Parliament, and most of them were around economy, and most of them were broadly about nationalism, identity politics. Can it be a referendum of Modi's style of politics, what has happened in Gujarat? Because I think that's the most high-pitched campaign we have ever seen when it comes to Rahul and Congress party.
Well, I suppose this word referendum is being used for every election. UP, we were told it's referendum. Delhi, we were told it was referendum. Bihar, we were told it was referendum. So I wouldn't go by that word. But one thing is very clear. The issues that the Congress was making out of every such decision, whilst on GST, they would be in the GST Council cooperating, but come out and say, no, we are not in favor of GST. They would say GST is our law, but now because BJP passed it, it's not our law. The hypocrisy with which Congress went about their campaign. We want development, but we are also doing caste-based politics. We want to be constructive, but obviously in the parliament we'll never cooperate. So the hypocrisies have been exposed.
Would you say the disenchantment of the voter to a certain extent has also been exposed? The voter base might erode in Gujarat for the BJP despite it winning the election eventually. What did the campaigns, what did the pulse of the people tell you and your party colleagues when you visited there during the campaign?
It is important to stay connected. That is the message which comes out of Gujarat. How much ever a party can bring in a narrative which they think is attractive and catches the imagination of the people. It's important for ruling party or for opposition to stay connected with the people, which is where BJP, because at every polling booth, we've had people working, party workers working all through the term of 5 years and also during the campaign. And that kind of an individual one-to-one attention which BJP Karyakarta have given and the leadership giving a very clear picture is the takeaway from this election.
Nirmala ji, you were there. I saw you campaigned. You were there in Ahmedabad. You also did a lot of door-to-door campaigning. In your opinion, the three disruptors, Alpesh Thakur, Hardik Patel and Jignesh Meswani, why they didn't work, it seems. If I just go by the exit polls, they didn't work. Did you feel that at that point of time when you were in Gujarat that these three things which were really destabilizing Gujarat caste combination will not work in long run? Did you get that feeling, madam?
Yes, because, I got the feeling because people were saying it out very clearly. Saying even if there are issues, people should talk with the government and the government will have to respond to them and do something to address concerns. They didn't think that that narrative can dominate the election. I'm so glad to say that people do come up with a very realistic picture at the ground level. Whether it is the GST, whether it was the caste-based leadership, whether it is reservation, on all of these questions, the people were far more realistic. They said, well, it's all right, these issues can be there, but it is the way in which a government would want, a political party would want to address it. To promise reservation where it was constitutionally untenable. Now you already have 49 point something, 50%, up to 50% reservation in Gujarat. Where is this going to happen for one particular community without causing damage to somebody else. Why should we mislead people? And that kind of a narrative which captured the interest of Congress, and they wanted to sort of mislead the people, saying, no, we'll do it. How will they do it? People are people are asking these questions. So you just can't mislead people by thinking that, electorally anything will happen. I mean, chalega, but afterwards I'm not responsible. People are asking you to be responsible.
Right.
So hypocrisies cannot, outsourcing cannot, riding on somebody else's glory cannot win you an election.
All right, Nirmala Sitharaman, thanks very much. Appreciate you joining us, and congratulations as far as the exit poll results are concerned. We hope on the 18th the best man or the woman, as the case may be, wins. Thank you once again. And so we are nearing the end of this broadcast. The big takeaway. Let's begin with Arun.
See, winning an election is a combination of three things: personalities, issues, and a good election campaign machinery. Whichever party wins has got this combination right. Whichever party loses, they'll have to see what went wrong as far as these three things are concerned.
I feel the results show that Narendra Modi still holds the imagination of Gujaratis. He is still popular leader.
Diaspora.
Well, let's hope these polls are right, because there's a lot of crowing going on.
Very important caveat.
So, but assuming they're somewhere in the range, look, my perspective is this is a 5-test series, right? This is one test match. It's in the interest of each party to do down the leading batsman, but it's just but one test match. I think how many runs get scored, that's interesting.
My understanding is that the election, despite the exit polls, the elections are going to be closer. It can be a possibility, Palki, that BJP slips into double-digit mode. It is a possibility, and Congress gains a little more. Whenever the exit poll shows that a party is losing, it tends to lose more. A party is increasing the numbers, its tally in assembly, it tends to get more. So I think the two will have to meet and make a triangle. I think the exit polls are not showing it for various reasons, because look at the margins: 110 and 120, 124, 128, 99, 13, and for Congress 65, 75, 52, 56, 68, 82. And again 68. These are not the margin. I really don't want to get into the why
92 is the majority mark. So well,
it has to be closer.
Give or take.
It has to be closer.
If these are the numbers that they're possibly going to sail through. Babul Supriyo, thanks very much for your patience, for bearing with us, and for holding the line. Your final comments, closing comments.
Well, I just think that it is a triumph over Modi's leadership, his clarity in narrative, his clarity in the way he wants to lead the country, against all this noise, all this divisive politics that Rahul Gandhi has started with his new innings as the president of the Congress party. And I think that yes, Congress has a great history. You can't blame Rahul Gandhi for belonging to a dynasty. But what it shows is that it has a great history. It has to live with the history. I don't see any future for them in the politics of India. That's what it is.
Puneet Ahluwalia?
I have to commend the Indian public really maturing and understanding what the important issues are and coming out to vote, because I understand there'll be about 2.12 crore of people voting. But I think it's going to be definitely a win for Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah in their combination of really mobilizing and organizational skill set. But I also see it's a beginning of a battle between the next elections, where Rahul will be charged. Again, a 10-seat or any seat win will be seen as a victory for the Congress. And I guess that's going to basically put them in a momentum, because it's going to be pushing forward for the future battleground states, which they have in mind. But I think it's very important that people, or the organizational skills, along with clear deliverables, and at the same time a strong grassroots, is important for any party to win, because the Indian public is getting far more astute and far more intelligent and really watch the leadership closely. So honesty and integrity, and along with less corruption or no corruption, is what is important, and reforms. That will be important.
Dr. Bharat Barai, the numbers are to be believed, and this will be a record 5th straight term for the BJP in the state of Gujarat.
Yes, congratulations to the people of Gujarat for exercising their right in democracy. This is really Narendra Modi's victory. What he has done for Gujarat all these years, people can see and believe. And number 3, the caste-based politics that was envisioned in Gujarat should not have been done. And the basic question which nobody has asked is, Why use the Patels? They are proud people who have done everything with on their own merits, and to try to use the Patel factor was a disgusting thing in the politics of Gujarat. And I hope it's not repeated in future.
Right, I'm going to thank you all. Thank you very much. And these are the final numbers as we have them. Most exit polls saying that the BJP is going to win anywhere between, what, 100 and... So the poll of exit polls, 111 for the BJP, 71 for the Congress party, and none for the others.
But if you look at the fine line, BJP was 117, Congress had 61. So
5 after
the trend again. I would insist that it's like
after how many years anti-incumbency.
It's a trend.
This is hardly. I would say a gain for the Congress party, but it's a trend. Okay, you want to, and these are now the final figures. These are just exit polls. So 111 for the BJP, 71 for the Congress party out of a total of 182. The midway mark is 92. This is how the Gujarat election looks at this point, and this is just an exit poll. The final results will be on Monday, the 18th of December.